Welcome back, everyone, to Lesser Known Operators. I'm your host, Nicholas Allen, and my guest today is Chris Murillo, former Green Beret from the 19th Special Forces Group. He is now on to his second career in retirement, and he is the founder, owner, and employee at G Chief Leather, which is unconventional leather craft. He makes badass wallets for badass people, individually made by a Green Beret. Links to his socials in the show description. As always, today's episode is brought to you by the Precision Wellness Group and Dr. Taylor Bosley. Precision Wellness Group helps you restore balance, unlock vitality, and fuel your momentum through bioidentical hormone therapy and evidence-based personalized telemedicine. Dr. Taylor Bosley is a board-certified physician, a U.S. Army veteran, and a former Green Beret. He knows where you've been, where you want to go, and how to get you there. And he's an actual doctor that can prescribe you actual medicine. That's a bonus. So if TRT, HRT, hormones, testosterone, peptides are something you've been thinking about for a while now, or just looking into, look no further than Precision Wellness Group and Dr. Taylor Bosley in Southern Pines, North Carolina. In-person, walk-in, telemedicine. Tell them Lesser Known Operators sent you. Use code LKO20 on your consultation paperwork to save 20% on said consultation. Get your supplements for the gym at alphaeliteperformance.com. Use code LKO15 at checkout to save 15% on your order. I recommend the Pipe Fitter pre-workout and the creatine. It worked for me, probably worked for you. I do appreciate you guys. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment, pass these episodes along. Thank you for listening and enjoy the show. Chris Murillo, welcome to Lesser Known Operators, man. Thanks for coming on.
Man, good to be here, dude.
But man, I love it. I get to pick via social media so many people. I go, I haven't talked to this person. Let's talk and be friends now. And now you're up, and I'm always just so lucky that I get to do this. I know I created this thing myself, but I just feel so lucky that I just get to pick these guys to talk to and get to know them. And it's so much more fun and fulfilling than I thought it was going to be. And thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. That's awesome that you get to, find fulfillment and having conversations with people. I'm not a talker at all. And, I'm always a little scared when it comes to conversations with people I've never met. Um, my, my podcast would be like, hey, dude, let's go do some work out in the yard or, accomplish a goal, working on a truck or something like that. And it wouldn't make probably for a very good podcast with, your normal conversation.
It might, you never know. Cause this show has done way more for me than I ever thought would be possible. My ability to speak and interject in conversations, string together thoughts is 10 times what it was in January. And now we're almost 12 months later. So I used to think, oh, there's too many shows. There's too many people doing all this stuff. I go, who gives a shit? That the benefits aren't putting the show out there. It's all the other stuff that comes along with it. So, as long as you're getting something out of it, I get way more than I think everybody else does out of this because uh, having this and having the discipline to put the show out and learn how to do new things and everything like that has been so much more beneficial to every other aspect of my life that yeah, I'm all about it. I tell people just go do it. Who cares if it's just your family and friends that listen to it? Then that your family and friends are going to learn a whole lot more about you, about some stuff that, because in conversation, just like social media, we only put out the best stuff. People ask you how you are. It's always, oh, I'm good. I'm okay. We don't actually say, but on here, it's just you and somebody else. Let's have a conversation and talk about whatever's going on. How you feeling? What do you think about this? What do you got going on for business? It's really been interesting. And like I said, with your business and people that aren't talking, I can just grab them and say, hey, let's just have a normal conversation and talk about your business. Because people tell me, oh, I'm not good about talking about myself. Well, that's my specialty, is talking about you. So that's why I love it. Like, I can have people on, talk about your business, and just get to know one another. I think it's cool, man. So you should
Yeah,
try it.
man, that's awesome. A lot of, a lot of, uh, practicing, just like in practicing anything, makes you a little bit better at stuff. And, you know, like you said, doesn't really matter how many podcasts are out there. Um, or like in my business with wallets, you think the market is saturated, but then you go and you start getting good and more proficient at your craft. You with podcasts, me with making my wallets. Um, you find your niche. In our case, the military, special forces, more, bringing it more together, and people resonate with that. And you try to uh, put yourself into each episode, each wallet. You put yourself in there, and as long as you keep you know trying to get better, that's what it's all about. If not for your audience's satisfaction for your own. So
Yeah, there's no competition if you do good work, I think. You the product is you, it's what you put into it. You're making a wallet and somebody I want that, you know? And we forget how big the United States is. I just drove this whole thing. It's massive. Holy shit. And there's people all over the place and endless cars on the street and people. And I go, oh, I got 15, 20,000 followers, right? Fuck, I just drove past 100,000 people today, and that ain't even a fraction. It's just this tiny fraction. There's so much business out there. And if you do good work and you just really put yourself into it, there's no competition. You're the only competition for the work is how much can you put yourself through to put out the product. And you got to be careful not to let it drag you down. I got to be careful what you let drag you into hell, before you give away too much. And you got to be careful about what you do and what you say. But it's nice to see there again with all the pages. I thought because there's page after page after page of guys doing signs or plaques or awards and things like that. And every one of them I talk to goes, man, I don't have enough time to even answer the phone. Like there's no shortage of people the work out there. If you're doing good work, they're going to get a hold of you. I assume that's the same for you.
yeah, yeah, it's the same. I I have a hard time saying no, especially to soft guys, and friends or family, and just a little bit of going out of your way to do something slows you down on the other end. Um, but it's just a passion to do what you do. Um, and I love it. I love being busy. If I'm not busy here at home, I go crazy, man. Um, they say like a dog without a purpose digs holes, and that's what happens with me. If I sit at home doing nothing, my mind starts to go crazy. So being busy is something that I seek to do, something I seek for. Yeah.
You said you're only a year into your retirement. How long did you had you been told that you need to get a hobby before, or is it something you abruptly found out when you got out?
Mm. So I started this before I retired, before I was thinking about retiring. And man, I'd hate to say it, but those transition programs, they that's something that they drill into you is you need to have something to follow up your military career. Um, and you really think of that, you take that in, or at least I did, as you need a career to follow into once you get out of the military. But what they don't focus on is you really need a purpose. You need fulfillment post military, not not specifically in the career field, but in your personal life, because that's what I think is really attacking our veterans. Is once they get out of the military, they've lost their purpose. Um, and for me, this was my not really purpose, but this was my fulfillment in crafting that I found. Career wise, I already set up my career field as a crime scene investigator with the police department, so I was good there. Um, and my transition was pretty easy out of the military, because I had my career set up, and then I had my fulfillment uh, outside of the workspace. Um, so it wasn't something that I consciously set up, but it's something that, just fell into place. So in that aspect, my transition worked out pretty well. So every time I run into another person saying, "Oh yeah, about to retire," I talk to my buddies who are about to get out. I tell them, "Hey man, you have to have something to do out of the military once you get out. Otherwise, you can end up the bottom of a bottle, or even worse." So
Yeah. Yeah. So it sounds like you had it set up professionally and then to transition out. But how did you handle that emotionally when it finally came day to grab your DD-214 and step off post for the last time? How'd you take that?
say initially, the first it was a little bit of a gut punch when they said, "Here's your award." My buddies handed me this award you see back here for my team, and receiving that from them, and then seeing my final words to the formation. That was a it was a punch to the gut, and then the I don't know. For me, it just felt like a weight lifting off. At that time, I was already you know, uh, 2 years into my career. I got a wife and 2 girls, and, a couple dogs, and I have my, up and coming, wallet business at that time, and it was extremely overwhelming, and that's putting it lightly. As, I retired as the team sergeant for the Special Warfare Training Detachment out of the 1st and 19th here in California, and uh, man, I was stretched so thin. I was stretched so thin, not only in my personal life, but in my career, and here at home with my business, and uh, with the military. And I felt like I was drowning in work. Um, and so it was a relief to finally, let that part of my life go. On my last deployment, when I got back, the wife and I had to sit down, and at that point it was 21 years military service, and I told her that this was my last deployment, our last deployment uh, as a couple, and once I made that decision that I wasn't going to deploy anymore, that was the the signal to myself that, okay, if I'm not going to deploy anymore, I'm going to try to pass on as much information as I can from my years of experience, as a medic and as a special forces, guy, and I'm out the door. So
The
yeah,
SWID's a great place to glide into retirement, though, but it is a very serious position because you realize real quick that everything you say and everything you do has an effect on the regiment for 19th Group, for your because those dudes, those aren't like going to be spread out amongst the groups or whatever. If they go, they're coming right back there, right back to where you are,
absolutely.
a direct
Yeah,
impact. So it's very interesting gravitational position to where everything is going to reflect on the place that you're at, not the regiment as a whole. So I know exactly what you mean there. I've just recently been introduced with it with 519 out in Watkins there, and I love it. I Man, those guys are squared the fuck away. Uh, I love to see that shit. But good, man.
yeah, man.
You At least you were able to make that decision and kind of stick with it and then transition out. Some guys go, that could have been my last deployment, but let's do another one. Let's do another one. Let's keep it going. And at least you went the other way of, "I've had enough," and you were able to make that decision instead of, just one more, just one more, just one more." So, good on you for that.
Yeah, man. A lot of it, there's a self awareness aspect to it of, realizing when you've emptied your cup, you know, and at that point, I felt like I did, and that I just, like I said before, that I just needed to, you know, do what I can to help out our unit in uh, assessing and selecting, that next generation of, Green Berets. Yeah, man, and I loved it. Like, what you touched on earlier is we on the SWID have the opportunity to not just shape new Green Beret hopefuls, but the new Green Berets that are coming out, and they come directly to us. So we are shaping the community of what we want our unit to look like. I said a lot during the Special Forces readiness evaluations, SFREs, when I talked to the group. It's like, hey, I'm not just selecting you as a future Green Beret, but I'm selecting you to replace me because I'm on my way out to go hang out with my team and for them to trust their lives on you. So I need to select you as the right person to fill that job. And if we feel that you are not, physically, but like mentally able to do that, then, you're not going to make it during this weekend event or whatever, we have going on. Um, it's a big responsibility. And for those guys that do make it during the safari and they come and join on the unit's training team, we have to iterate that to them over and over again, because it's a giant responsibility.
It is, and it's even regular army, we're all scared of going to SWIC, right? Getting hit with the SWIC levy, we gotta go do our instructor time, but, man, to be a selection cadre out there at McCall or to be a cadre on the SWID, that's an experience that everybody should have, or at least everybody should go do a walk, and have like, "Hey, guys, here's it from the other side. This is a serious thing." I don't think we get enough. We can't get enough experience fast enough. You can't get it all because it takes a whole career and then it's over. Like, and at least like now I'm able to just pull from everybody. I can pull from everybody. When you're on a team, you only get your other 11 guys, and your company, you barely see them. And it depends on how the company area is set up. You might not even see the other teams. So it's, I get to, like I said, hear stories from guys about what they think and how these other units work and think like that, and the influence that what you say and do has on the next generation of guys. It's pretty cool. And to find out the National Guard, SF National Guard, it's the secret that's not a secret, because we
Mm.
have no idea as active duty guys what's going on over there. We think y'all are fucked up from the floor up, and it's not the case at all.
Yeah, man, we as a National Guard teams, we work very hard as a company. Uh, companies out there full time getting the missions lined up for us. If you are you know, team sergeant or a team leader, you are not doing 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. And even us as the teams. Uh, when I was a team sergeant, c- it was almost like, like a full on job that you had every day. You were getting your emails, you were getting calls from the commanders, from other team sergeants, from other people, other taskings, trying to get your Charlie set up for, inventories that were going on next month. And yeah, man, it's a pretty demanding position. And we warn people that before they get in, like, hey, how big into family life are you in a family work life balance? How into your career are you? It's one thing that we also have to select for when or think of when we select new people coming in. Oh yeah, my wife's 4 months pregnant. That's not something that's going to affect whether they get selected or not, but it's something that we have to put into their head. Like, hey, do you realize how long, uh, the Q course can be? Uh, and some of them don't really know that. And then once we, tell them like, hey, shortest it can be is, uh, a year and a half, and the longest it can be is 2.5 years, if things go south. Um, so it's demanding. Yeah. I do feel though that there are some aspects of it being in the guard that we miss out on that active duty has, like those that time in SWIC, um, getting to go to your designated your course and be an instructor there, so you can build that proficiency. Um, I was 18 Echo, and to say that I was as proficient as a active duty Echo, uh, I, I'd probably be lying if I said that. We don't get that much hands-on uh, experience that I would assume active duty people get. But when it does come time to deploy, it's just 100% focused on trying to be as mission ready as possible. And uh, yeah, man. But at the end of our training, we get to go home, and that's the good part, you know.
Yeah, everything has its advantages and disadvantages, and it sounds like, well, especially with, you got your social media platform and you got your wallets and your business, right? And obviously named uh, as part of the regiment, G Chief Leather, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so keeps you connected also. So you still get to have that in there of guys messaging you, and you're still part of the regiment because you're always going to be a Green Beret, right? Even though you're in
Always.
civilian clothes, you get to still be there and still be a representative of the guys on this side of things. It sounds like that's what you want to do. Do you miss it?
Do I miss being part of the teams? I miss
Yeah.
the boys, man. I miss hanging
Yeah.
out with the boys. So I never really, talking about it. I didn't really focus on, hey, I'm going to training this weekend. It was like, hey, I'm going to go hang out with the boys this weekend because that's what it was. And if we got training done, we got training done. But um, that's another thing that I think that National Guard um, is a different beast from active duty. Is that we only get to see our guys, during training events, and once in a while we do hang out outside of that. But you know, it'd be awesome to see them a little bit more.
Yeah. Like I said, everything has its advantages and disadvantages, but it's it is an interesting thing, and we do it for different reasons. The course, I was messaging with one guy last night, and the course is one thing. Getting to the Q course is difficult. Completing the Q course, that's a different type of difficult, and that's a huge commitment. From start to finish of a big unknown, and for kids to make that
Hmm.
decision or adults to make that decision and go, what am I going to put my family through? And then you just got to be you really have to care more about graduating than almost everything else. Otherwise, you're almost not going to make it. And
Yeah,
it's a big commitment from everybody in your life. And if you don't have anybody in there, that might make it easier. You might go off the rails and party too much when they get let loose on the weekends, but it's such a strange thing, and we all seem to. I think one thing missing, and I don't know what you see from our recruiting, is this legacy factor. I keep circling back to it. Is there's so many people hanging around now in the social media space. They're hanging around in, you got Special Forces Brotherhood. You've got Guardians of the Green Beret. You got all these people that are just hanging around, that being there. And I don't know. I don't think schoolhouse or regiment is properly utilizing that legacy as much as they could, of being like, this position is so addictive that it's never going to end. It's never going away. You you get there and you just want to be part of it forever. And that's one thing
Mm.
I like about it is, God, look at all these people that are so effective by it. You know, some people leave you got your unit and things like that, but man, you're a Green Beret, you're a Green Beret forever. And you generally, as long as something bad didn't happen, that's how you're introducing yourself. You're a representative. You're always, what were you? I was a Green Beret. You know, it doesn't need any more explanation and things like that. And there's just so
Yeah,
many people.
it's the mistress aspect to it. You know, there's that lore of the Green Beret or Special Forces. That there's that mistress that you have that you want to give all your attention to. Um, like you said, commitment. There's that long commitment to it, but I think a lot of it is more of the focus, the amount of focus that you need to have on accomplishing that task. You know, whether you are married or you are single, you have to be extremely focused on what the goal is. And people who don't pass the course, you know, outside of selection, once we've completed and been selected, I think they lose focus on the end goal because it's such a long term um, task that you're trying to accomplish. Somewhere along the lines, you've got things going on in your personal life, um, and you lose focus on what the actual goal is to finish the course, get your green beret, and then go to a team. And I'm sure you've seen it as well. Guys, start dating someone and they lose focus on it. Um, and, you know, next thing you know, you don't see them at formation the next day. Um,
My buddy was an instructor down there. He said it was almost like clockwork. If somebody asked to go to a family event, didn't matter what it was, you, up to like, immediate family dying or something, like obviously they're going to go. But anything like below that threshold, oh, I've got a bachelor party to go to or something like that, they their chances of graduating dropped to like 50%. He goes, it's just like it was every time. They would ask me for something stupid, I'd give it to them, and then they were gone. It would seem like just gone. Well, so it's there's no official numbers on that, but from one cadre's
yeah,
perspective, so and seeing a pattern over and over again. And you're right, that special forces mistress. That's a real thing. That notebook I had earlier that I threw over there. I'm rewriting that poem to go with the shirt that we're putting out for our first shirt is the special forces mistress. My wife drew our interpretation of her into real
yeah,
life, so that's going to be our first shirt that comes out hopefully in a week. It's I'm very excited. That's another Green Berets handle it. He's got the design and what I want to do, and he's got that. But another thing which I hope is popular because it's one, it's not out there, and two, it's a real thing. It's 100% truth. She'll always leave you for a younger man, but I am starting to notice like on this side of things. Yeah, she will. She will. Like the uniform side of, but I've come right back in civilian clothes, and I can stand right next to everybody else. And as long as you keep in good standing, you can still do that thing and be right back there with the guys. You just you
hmm
just can't have the. And fuck, you can. I mean, I put my cries on. I take a picture with my beret with the boys, and you just gotta hold yourself and put yourself in a position. It's not going to look the same, but you can still have an effect on the regiment and the guys in a positive way. You just got to work at it. It's pretty cool. Are you are you still tied in with those guys down at 19th at First Battalion?
once in a while, I'll head out to a safari and, just walk along with the guys, um, say a couple words to the candidates going out there and, uh, you know, hand out a couple wallets to the finishers, the first, three finishers of the rucks. Um, but you know, would be nice to have a little bit more time with them. Like California is a big state. I live, 5 hours away from where we do everything. So it's not every safari I can get out there, but I try to find my way out there every once in a while.
They invited me out for one. More and more people are saying, "Oh, you should come out to this one." I go, guys, you know how far away Wisconsin is from everything. It is so far. I didn't, I didn't know that I picked. Um, how do I put this? The most isolated spot from Special Force. Like I am as far as you can get from all of them as a whole. Then that I
Yeah.
inadvertently picked here up in Wisconsin goes, man, it's just a long way for me to get anywhere to go hang out with anybody. But um, it's, yeah, 5 hours, that's not so bad. But for me, they invited me out. I was like, bro, that is 31 hours from my house. I ain't fucking coming. Like, unless I'm already there, which I would never be there. It's going to be a long shot for me to make it out, but we'll see. Uh, they're just fun to watch, man. They're fun to see and fun to watch, and it's fun to still be part of it. But yeah, we'll see. Eventually,
Yeah, there's a
we'll
lot of
visit everybody.
personalities that come out and try out. Some should be there, some shouldn't be there, and it's interesting to see the dynamics between those two classes. You know, um, People show up physically ready, and there's the ones that show up that you don't know why they did. Obviously, weren't physically ready. Obviously, do not have the mental capacity to handle stress at those levels. And not to say that we put an extreme amount of stress on them um, during the safari, um, but we want to gauge where their stress level is at. And even in a minute dose, some people they're not built for that. So
That's all right. They made the decision to come out there, and that's okay too. They asked me, they go, "Hey, is selection this hard?" I went, "No, fuck no, it's not this hard. Fucking, you're doing 3 events a day. Fuck, we don't do 3 events a day. It's selection. Like, I was like,
right,
this
yeah,
fucking blows. You guys did a PT test last night, and then you woke up and did a 12 miler. Fuck that. Like, oof, God. And then, and then what else did you do? Like 2 team events in the day? I'm like, oof, God, I don't know. I don't remember a single day of
obstacle
selection that
course,
was
a
that shitty.
swim. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
man, I
yeah.
was
That's what
just
we
out at
tell them too.
McCall.
Yeah,
I was just out of McCall, and I went over by Nasty Nick. That one, the rope, the telephone pole ladder where they're like 4 feet apart, and it goes up like 36 or 40 feet. God, that thing, I don't remember it being that. I'm standing next to it going, what the fuck? We climbed that motherfucker? Holy shit. Like,
yeah.
fuck.
With just this rubber mulch at the bottom to stop if we fall. Like, what is that about?
It's like, man, I don't remember it because, yeah, I was standing and looking at some of the obstacles going, wow, we really just fucking said, fuck it, the YOLO, man. Can
Yeah,
you imagine falling off the top of that thing?
man. No, no, I couldn't. Um, I don't know, man. Even there was a candidate in front of me that fell off the horizontal monkey bars, the monkey bars, and they were wet. He reached for them and lost his grip, landed flat on the ground, and then they're like, "Okay, you're next." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't want to fall." I had the most white knuckled grip on those bars. I was It was probably the only obstacle on there that I was scared of because I'm like, I just don't want to fall like that guy in front of me did.
Yeah, and the cadre, what is it? They're supposed to be, uncaring and aloof, really, It's just, but you got to think behind those sunglasses, they're just going, oh, God, that looks like it hurt. Anyway, next candidate.
Mm, yeah.
So how did you get into wallets, man? Have you always been messing around with leather, or do you like to sew, or which one? How do you get into that?
Yeah, man. My mom taught me to sew on a machine, and a little bit of hand stitching when I was younger. So I was introduced into sewing, um, early on. Um, and right before I got into leathercraft, she bought a new machine, asked me if I wanted the old sewing machine. And so this is the old sewing machine that, when I was 6 years old, I was using. Um, and I started messing around with that. This was during the COVID times, and we ended up getting a dog, a blue heeler, Johnny Ringo, and he needed a collar. So, um, I really like working with my hands. I enjoy it, making little projects. So I went down to the local leather shop and bought talked with the guys there, asked them, what tools do I need? I just want to make a simple collar. So I bought all that stuff and just went to YouTube University for like a good week, to learn all the stitching, how to make stitch holes, um, and burnishing the end to leather, all that stuff. And I made my dog a collar, and I also needed a wallet too. Um, had some extra leather, so I figured, hey, let's make myself a wallet. Uh, from old sewing material that I had left over. I had this multicam black Cordura, and I said, "Hey, you know what would be awesome is if I put instead of making leather pockets, um, because I only had scrap leather left. I only had enough leather to make the body of the wallet, and I didn't want to go buy more leather, um, because that was expensive. So I ended up saying, okay, I'm going to get this multicam black material, lap that on as pockets for my on the leather body of the wallet, and made myself that wallet, man. And it was awesome. That was the first G Chief wallet. Uh, I took it, started taking that to drills with the boys, and they're pretty receptive to that. They were like, "Dude, that's pretty awesome, man! Like, make me one." Cool, I'll make you one. And then that turned into a little bit more. That turned into friends and family wanting some, and then random people on the internet reaching out. And that's when I realized, hey, I think I got something here. So, um, yeah, man. And it was just a snowball effect from there.
They're pretty clean. They're pretty tight, man. I like seeing them. I oh, that's my wallet's a collection of stuff that I never use, but I might. I have all my cards in there, business stickers, all kinds of crap in there that I always carry around with me now. But I like seeing the pictures of the stuff you make and posting them up on the stories. Like, it's clean, man. Looks good. You do a good job at them.
Thanks, man. Thanks, man. I like to take pride in the products that I put out, and I need to send you one. Send me your address after this, and I'll hook you up with one.
Yeah. What was that one that did really well? You had that one reel that did really. What was the operator one, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, the one with the nods. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's hit or miss, man. Some people don't like it; they think it's dumb, but I thought it was a little clever thing, and you know, um, it's I like it. I've never
It's
seen anything
who
like it
cares?
before.
Who cares what people like?
Yeah,
What
who
people
cares? At the
think?
end
As
of the
long
day,
as
man, that's
it's
it's awesome.
I just drove around the country and did squats by state signs and on boasts and stuff, and people sending me messages like, "That's cringe." I was like, well, I do you really think I care? Like, are you messaging me because you really think I care what you think? I just pushed my weights a half a mile from my truck up to the White House. Do you really think that I care what you people think about me? Like, people take the time out of their day to think that I care about me being cringe with my content. Obviously, I don't. I can tell it is sometimes, but I need to get views. I need to get people to see me. And it's fun. Making the stuff is fun, making the posts is fun. And the underlying thing is you have to get better doing this, making this content. Otherwise, nobody's going to know who the fuck you are today. So you make a product that
Right.
gets, you're like, oh, that was fun to make. I can make a reel and it stands out. Nobody's seen that before. I'm going to get more views. I'm going to get more people that want to get a wallet that looks like this or get some leather that looks like this and things like that. It's all this game and nobody thinks about that. They're just like, that's gay. Shut the fuck up. Go fuck yourself. Go fucking go back to bashing people on Twitter or something or whatever the fuck. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, just because I see stuff all the time on the internet, I'm like, just because I don't like it doesn't mean it isn't dope, Like, it's obviously well made and cool. Like, what am I going to complain about somebody else doing a good job for themselves for? Like, oh, I don't like it. Then I keep scrolling. So whatever. But that, but sometimes if you make stuff that people don't like, that works out better is because they'll be in the comments and tell you how much they hate you. And then that snowballs and gets you farther. So
Yeah,
I think it's great. It's
that's a
all
good point. I should come out with that's good advice. I should come out with the most disgusting wallet I can think of and market that with a super high price and see where that goes. See how many views that'll get.
it's a parody of a parrot or an inverse of what you kind of do that your viewers go, what the fuck is that? And then they'll comment and go, is this serious or something? You
Mm,
just watch what other people do because a lot of these pages are huge and they'll do stuff. You got to get people to stop scrolling for 3 seconds. And so that's always in my mind. How do I get people? Because I'm very serious in my content. I'm not funny. I'm very deadpan. So it's like, how do I get people to stop scrolling while being serious? It's very difficult to do. Um, the best way for me is put a lot of weight on the bar. People will stop if there's a lot of weight on the bar because they can't lift it. But that's one I found. But you got to find ways for people to stop scrolling and then to comment, to share with somebody else. But you gotta stick with what you're good at and things. And I'm always thinking about it, man. Always, it's constant, like constantly working on getting better, talking to my phone, talking to people, seeing how I can help everybody else out as well, and put stuff on my stories. And that's why I like seeing your stuff. I'll message people if I like their product, and I'll just say, hey, tag me in a reel every so often so I can put it on my story so I can see the pictures. I like seeing people's
mm.
pictures of them doing nice work as well. So we're all a network. I think it's all fun, man. It's so much fun.
Yeah, man. Definitely a network. I've reacquainted with and also gained a lot more, friends in this community that do podcasts or do other type of other makers, other crafters, um, in this line. And you touched on something that I also want to talk about um, is giving back. Using our platforms to give back. You recently did that, drive across the states where you Squattober, where you helped raise money for Project Recon, and a lot of things that I do here, a lot of the projects I help out with foundations. Right now, I'm currently making wallets where the profits are going to go to help out the Special Forces Foundation. A lot of times, people will reach out to me and uh, say, "Hey, we're having a silent auction. Is it possible to, maybe get one of your products for a silent auction for this fundraiser that we're having?" Absolutely. That offer will always stand. Anything I can do to, give back and help out um, other foundations and especially in the first responder and veteran community. Um, I feel that we uh, owe it to um, our lineage to give back to them, and that's in any way possible, whether that's showing up at a safari and, giving advice to the candidates, or that's monetarily uh, giving to foundations that help support those people. Um, G Chief Leather was not my first name I picked for this company. It was going to be originally called Noble Cause Goods because I wanted that foundation of giving back to the community um, through my work. However, I felt that didn't fit the the image that I wanted um, to be for the company. So, you know, thinking more about it, about how I wanted to stand out, I came up with G Chief Leather for the name, but I'm still keeping uh, that foundation of giving back.
Why why do you feel like you still need or you need to give back or still need to do something? You did 21 years of service. Why do you feel like you need to do it? I know why I feel like I need to do it. I have a lot left in the tank. I only got to do 8 years, and I I didn't get to finish my road. But why does somebody that did 21 years feel like they still need to give back to the community?
As we have to invest in, keep in the development of the next generation and the currently serving people, uh, currently serving members of the force. It's as a as a senior leader, retiring as a senior person. I don't think you should give up that quest of continuing to develop. As an NCO, that's what you do is you develop the lower enlisted people, and I don't think that's something that should go away just because you're out of the military. you know, However you can enable the next generation, whether it's your kids, whether it's, uh, other people's children or other people trying to, random strangers trying to develop a skill in something. It's what we should do. It's the right thing to do is to enable to them to become better in whatever uh, aspect, whatever cause that they want to, give themselves into. Um, yeah, not only as a former leader, but as a man, I feel that's what we are called to do. Um, and not being able to, not being able to, but not striving to do that, not going out of your way to do that, I think is a disservice on everyone.
Yeah, and as you said in the beginning, right? A lot of guys lose their purpose and lose their way when they take the uniform off. And when you continue to be a mentor, a senior leader, what have you, after the service, it didn't end. Like I said, it doesn't have to end. If you don't want it to end, it doesn't have to. You can if you go from mentoring a team or you're a company sergeant major, battalion sergeant major, just down to one person, you're still mentoring people. Everybody that you talk to is going to take away from your conversation or your interaction something. And the more
100%.
professionally and better you carry yourself, the better it will reflect on regiment. I trade on this little logo here and introduce myself as a Green Beret. So I'm a representative of the regiment, whether I like it or not. And so is everybody else that introduces themselves that way. I feel like we have this responsibility. It's a multi-pronged thing that regiment gave us a lot, and and it taught me a lot of things about myself and gave me things. I just didn't get to do everything I wanted to do, but I feel like I have some responsibility to not only the people that aren't around, but the people that are around that are having a tough time. Because my big thing is nobody listens and nobody reads, but they will watch what you do. So if I can do what we should be doing and you can do what we should be doing and people see that and see us doing it, maybe not. It's tough to make content about it because it's like, oh, I'm bragging, look at me doing the right thing still. And you got to just do it, and then your friends will see it, and maybe you can affect a few people around you and a few people around somebody else. um, and people see us do the right thing. I want to do the right thing too, right thing the right way, and help out people, and still be who I was in uniform, just on this side of the retirement line. So it's all, as I said, a network thing. It all feeds on one and into the other. So I think it's very important that people see that it doesn't end, because again, with that loss of purpose, man, when that goes away, fucking miserable. I've been there. Painful, very painful. Now I don't drink at all, and I'm a podcast host with tons of friends, and uh, but that's all work too. You got to work at that. So yeah, it's interesting. Everybody's answer on that is why do you continue to go? I know why I can, but I give it to you guys, the guys that retired. You guys don't have to do shit. You did everything. 20 years, 20 years in special forces or in regiment or wherever, and in the military in general. You did everything your
Yeah.
country asked you to do. You don't have to do anything else. You did it, did the whole thing. But we all want to, huh? We all still want to do something. Just do something to help. Just help. Because, yeah, watching the guys suffer, that's pretty miserable thing to do. And we all can do our little part and hopefully help out the next guy needing a hand up or a hand down. That's been the toughest part of being on this side of it, though. Is just seeing all of that, knowing that it's all going on, and seeing the depressing side of things. But hopefully, we can make a difference. Hopefully, one person at a time.
Hopefully, man. Yeah. Yeah. There's you want to keep, like, what did you say? You said you got to be the example, um, because you represent the regiment after you get out, and I think you should still uphold high standards when you do get out. Um, it's tough to see Green Berets that get out and they end up you know getting into bad habits, or losing their edge, and you see them later and they're overweight and not taking care of themselves, and uh we need to help those people out, because at one time they did have high standards, and um, we need to help them find a way back. You can see people who get out of the military without a purpose, and they've lost their way. um,
I think we can. We will. There's more people, more eyes on it, more people making content about it, which is very, oh my God, so difficult to do. So difficult. I say in my stories, I feel like the people that follow me know exactly how I feel about this when I make content about suicide or about mental health and stuff. It really is it like sucks the life out of you when you tell some of these stories,
mm,
and when I make some of these things, and you just tell people what I'm going through or what other people are going through. It's very taxing. And I know why other people don't make it, because it's fucking depressing, and but I think somebody has to do it. I think we need to do it. And that's why I've been, putting kind of this section at the end of my show, is because, more into the conversation and things like that. But it's a major problem. The guys struggle, guys and gals. There's You come from a certain situation beforehand, and you come into the military, and you go to this place where you win, and all you got to do it to be successful is to just work your ass off, which is extremely easy. As long as you just work really hard and you pour yourself into it and forget everything else, then you'll keep climbing the ladder and be successful. But then that goes away, and there's no structure, and there's nobody telling you what to do, and there's no boss or no officer and things like that. It goes away. I completely understand. There's a lot of pain that comes into that. So I've been on all all sides of the realm, and in the position I'm in now, I think I can do the most good, talking to guys, counseling people, just messaging, being there, and learning more information. Because God, there's it's not over. There's no finish line. There's no end state. It's just the people that we surround ourselves with, and how much can we help them and be there for them, and just help out. And that's what's good about this whole thing is what a what a what a great community we have for ourselves if we just put a little effort
It is,
into it.
man. That's a it's a very valid point too. Is you have to surround yourself with people who you know have the same background as you, and then also know what you're going through. Um, they reach out and go hang out with another community. You know, don't be a lone wolf. Don't do it by yourself. There are a lot of awesome organizations out there that just want to take in veterans and uh, take them on a hunt, take them to go fishing, go ride horses, you know, um, just introducing them to something new stimuli, get their um, get their mind right, but also just building a community. Uh, you need to have a community with you. So
Yeah, absolutely, man. All right. So as we wind down here, you've got G Chief Leather and you've got your professional career, but G Chief Leather is going to keep you plugged into the community, and it's your thing. It's your baby, right? It's your pen
it
of
is.
light. So what will you do with your pen of light with G Chief Leather moving forward to do good in our community and your community?
And I really would like to uh, keep up the keep building the momentum I have of uh, supporting uh, foundations and charities that uh, help our first responders and our veterans. However, I can do that, um, and I would also um, would like to start introducing this type of craft into to veterans. Still don't know how I'm going to do that yet, but somebody who just needs something to do, get their mind right, um, even if it's just a distraction for a day. Um, you know, um, show them show them a new skill. Um, so I'm still trying to look for ways to do that. Um, Taking the first step here this month. I'm going to be working with a group of veterans and doing a wallet build class, and just getting a bunch of veterans together and then teaching them how to make a wallet, and you know, hopefully that helps somebody. You know,
Love it. Fuck yeah, man. No, these exercises and events, they don't have to be these grand productions. It could just be a couple people hanging out, like sitting around the fire or coming up with something. Like, we're gonna put together a wallet and hang out and just tell some stories and see where things go. And then you adjust from there. Do something, and then you have a point to improve upon that down the road. And better than doing
hmm
nothing and thinking about it. Thinking about it never got anything done ever. So much so that I've given up on planning in civilian life because I always get screwed over by it. So, brother, how can everybody find you on the socials if they so choose?
yeah, I'm on Instagram where I'm most active at G Chief Leather. You can also find me on Facebook where I'm not very active at. And if you want to check out the wallets, you can go to gchiefleather.com.
Well, I really appreciate you coming on the show and talking with me. Short show today, but that's okay. And as I say to everybody now, you know me and I know you. And if there is anything that anybody that you know that I can help with, that for somebody that I fucked up that whole saying. It sounds better when I say it correctly. But if I can help you or anyone you know in any way, don't hesitate to reach out. You got anything for me, brother?
No, man, I really appreciate you having me on. Um, there was a piece of military advice though that I want to pass along. That was passed along to me. It was probably the best piece of military advice I was given. and it was by a SEER instructor who, Mr. Smith, who was in the Special Forces Hall of Fame, and he said, "Go ugly early," which is basically a play on going all in on something. So if you were going to strive towards a goal, whether that be you are a Green Beret hopeful trying to get into that, or you were just starting a podcast, or you were just starting, you know, a leather craft, you know, go all in, go ugly early, and uh, invest fully into it.
Yeah, my sergeant major gave me that sign. Yeah, I guess Sergeant Major Orozco over at First Group made those for all the other sergeant majors, and then my sergeant major retired a month ago now, and when I was down there visiting him, he peeled that off the wall and gave it to me. And I gotta restructure my background here, but all in, man. What
All in.
amazing things we can
Yep.
do when we're totally committed. And as I said in my story last night, God, you know, accomplished a lot, but that just means there's a lot more to do. Uh,
Mm.
Again, I appreciate you coming on, brother. Bye, everybody.